Hello everyone, my name is Karina and we are starting our today's webinar. I hope the connection is good and that you can hear me well. If you want to check it out, you can mark in the comments if the connection is good. If you put 5, it means that the connection is good. If you put 1 or 2, it means that the connection is bad. The topic of our today's webinar is Life Expert Professional Device, Passive Bioresonance Therapy, and Bioresonance Contact Therapy. This is how we call it because many people don't even know about the huge possibilities that Life Expert Professional can give them. A Life Expert Professional, as we know, can be used in the Life Expert particular mode, or if you feel like you already know bioresonance technology, or maybe you are a practitioner, you are a doctor who wants to observe all the possibilities of the device, then this webinar will be very useful for you because passive bioresonance therapy or bioresonance contact therapy is very interesting and it gives incredible results. Okay, so let's start our webinar. We know that each organ or system has its own specific oscillatory parameters. It is all interconnected and comparable to an orchestra that plays the same melody where each organ has its own party. This is the same melody which plays during all our life. But what happens when we are ill? When a pathology takes place, appear segments in our body of disharmonious vibration, or as we call them, oscillations of the disease in our body. And these pathological segments begin to connect other body tissues and organs to themselves, and in this way to depress the segments of normal oscillations, as we call them, health oscillations. Normal oscillations are the health oscillations. Other words, they stop playing its role in the orchestra and play something else. They just ruin the melody, and it's impossible that other organs and systems do not repeat and start doing the same. Basically, what is an oscillation? Oscillation is a reflection of the processes that take place in our body. Other words, oscillations and processes that take place in our body, this is totally the same thing because oscillations is like a mirror of the processes that are going on in our body. It's all connected. This destroying process occurs first on the lowest informational structures of our body, then it gradually captures the cell and then the organ. That is how health oscillations switch to oscillations of the disease. I hope that until this moment it was clear. So, in order to return right oscillations, it is enough to restore the oscillatory background. That is why we need a passive bioresonance therapy, and it's carried out using our Life Expert professional device. How it works. The parameters of the person's own signals are taken, and a certain filtering of these signals takes place in the device. It's called inversion. So we basically take all the frequencies that our body produces, which are the mirror of all the processes that take place in our body, and in the device, some filtering inversion process going on in order to take away all the bad frequencies and turn on all the good frequencies. So abnormal frequencies fade away and the physiological frequencies increase. We send them to our body through the electrodes, which helps the body to restore the natural parameters of homeostasis and to increase adaptation reserves of our body. Basically, this is the same as you do a rapid test. You connect yourself to all the electrodes, but the device is not doing a test, the device is doing a therapy. I will explain you what is the difference between this therapy and between our life balance device. For example, you can ask what is the difference and if Life Expert Profi in this case can replace life balance device. That's not true, because life balance device is an active bioresonance therapy. It means that we use the frequencies which were already described by Dr. Voll, the frequencies, therapy frequencies, and antiparasitic frequencies of Dr. Raymond Reif. These are like ideal health frequencies of our organs and systems, which we apply in order to do a therapy with our portable device. It's a portable therapy. And Life Expert Profi is a passive bioresonance therapy. We receive, in this case, not ideal frequencies of organs and systems, or we do not receive the frequency of the parasite in order to destroy it. We receive our own filtered frequencies, but the healthy ones. It really helps to work, especially with chronic health issues, because when we have a chronic illness, our parameters of homeostasis are very low. So we help our own body by giving it its own physiological frequencies in this case. Passive bioresonance therapy is done by meridians. There are 4 general meridians. We talked about them on our first webinar, but I decided to show it again in this one. So you have this picture of 4 general meridians. They are used to do harmonization. We do an express testing with Life Expert Profi, which is like a testing one. Then we go to bioresonance therapy and we do harmonization using one of these 4 meridians: vertical, horizontal, circular, and diagonal, for a small period of time in order to produce some effect on our body, to do another test and to see the result. I decided to make a video for you, which will appear later on this webinar, where you will see all of it, how it's done, the first test, the second test, harmonization and bioresonance therapy. I will just explain you in the WebWellness software how it looks. I'm not going to do a test itself, but just inside of the software, so you understand where it's located. A part of these 4 general meridians, also in our software and in general, exist 12 Chinese or classical meridians and 8 false meridians of Dr. Voll. False meridians are much shorter than Chinese meridians, but they are widely used to do the therapy. You can see them on the picture, the same way they are written in the WebWellness software. I decided not to write them in general. I decided to write them the same way they look inside the application, inside the software, so you do not find troubles to find them. And also each one has like an abbreviature, which you can see on the right side of each one in the blue color. This way you can find them easier. To describe Chinese meridians, maybe you have heard about Usin star. Usin star shows the connection of our organs' meridians with each other, because normally with some of them, I will tell you later in the webinar, we need to use a pair meridian. Every meridian has its pair. Also, I will tell you about it later. Right now, I want to show you a video with the software, with the WebWellness software, so you do not get lost and you find out how we find all these meridians. 1 second. Please watch a short video. It lasts 5 minutes. Okay, so we open our WebWellness application. We go to registry and choose a patient. Then we go to rapid test in order to launch a test. We click on launch when we are connected to all the electrodes. When the test is done, we click on process to process the test. Then, with Life Expert Profi, we need to do harmonization and the other test, because in this case we actually need to compare both tests with each other, as you heard on our last webinar. I need to go to general conditions of organs and systems and to look at the type of vegetative nervous system in order to choose harmonization meridian. Increase of parasympathetic division tonus. Okay, here we got the description. Parasympathetic nervous system is the first type. We need to put vertical meridian. Here are the 4 general meridians. Depending on the type of a nervous system, we choose one. In this case, vertical meridian, duration 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, I want to remind you where to find in general conditions of systems, and it will be here. Then we go to bioresonance therapy, where all the meridians are located: 4 general meridians, 12 classical Chinese meridians, and 8 full meridians. What we need to do? In this case, if we do harmonization, we choose harmonization. We choose time 2 or 3 minutes. When the person should be connected all the time to the laptop with our electrodes. When we choose the meridian, we need to click on checkup. Right now I can't do it because my device is not connected. Once the checkup is finished, this star, this is unseen star of meridians, will be beaming. The device will be choosing the frequency for us. Will be doing control. When the control checkup is done, you will see the affirmative message on the screen. You need to click OK. Then you launch harmonization. While we do harmonization, the person can keep his eyes open. This is just harmonization. We do not do any measurement. But when the measurement is done, please make sure that the person has his eyes closed. Once the harmonization is done, we go to rapid test again and we launch our second rapid test. Once the test is done, we click on process to process the results. Then we go to general conditions of systems. We open the test before harmonization, comparison mode, and then after harmonization, and we compare the results. The test after harmonization will be the real one, and as you can see, the results are a little bit different. It's normal. Thank you very much. Then we go to bioresonance therapy if what we need is not harmonization but a real therapy. The therapy can be done for now during 19 minutes as maximum. The number should be odd. This should be not a couple number. So we choose different meridians by double clicking on the meridian. Let's imagine we have 20 minutes. Here we can click to switch time. All depends on our needs. Up to 19 minutes. Then the same way we click on checkup. When the star stops beaming and the affirmative message disappears, we click launch. Here we can choose the testing date, the one where we are going to do this measurement. And here is auto selection of bioresonance therapy or auto selection of harmonization. After watching this webinar, I suggest you to do it manually, because this way you can be sure of what you choose. If you choose auto selection and you will see the meridian of heart, liver or kidney, please put the prolongation to 0.5 minutes. If it's heart, liver or kidneys, everything will be explained in the webinar. Thank you for your attention. All these webinars, all these meridians on the webinar will be described. These are their names in the application. Bioresonance therapy. We can open it when we choose a patient. Okay, I'm back again. I did this video so you can check how it looks inside the software, because this topic, it's not very difficult if you get to know it. But this webinar is not only for doctors, it's for people who doesn't have an idea about what is a meridian but would like to try it as well. But the doctors will also find it very interesting, I'm sure. So basically, I just want to sum up. You found all these meridians here in the software. First, we do, if we want to do harmonization and express testing, as returning to our previous webinar, you go to rapid test, you do a test, you go to general systems, you see a type of nervous system, you choose a meridian for harmonization, you put time, you do control, and you do harmonization. Then you repeat the measurement and you compare those two measurements due to the indicators I gave you on the webinar. If we talk about bioresonance therapy, it's not the same as harmonization. Harmonization is needed just to see the results, the true results of the test. Bioresonance therapy is a real therapy which can help you to treat your health issues, some acute problems or chronic diseases, in order to make your resistance to the pathological conditions, like to increase adaptation reserves. I hope everything is clear, but we have so many different meridians, so I will describe you how to use them. And also I will describe you what is the difference between those two general meridians, how they work. Oh, I would like to tell you that when you do a therapy, we have just two contraindications. One is if the person has a pacemaker, because by doing a rapid testing or by doing a bioresonance therapy, the person receives some voltage, so it's a small amount of electricity. So with a pacemaker, we do not suggest to do it. There are many people who still do it, but if somebody happens to the person with a pacemaker, even though if it was not your help, he will remember about you making him this test. So we do not suggest, it's a contraindication. And the other one is transplanted organs. Okay, effect of summation. You can see on this picture three really positive guys which are growing, the same as the result of our passive bioresonance contact therapy. If we do the first session, the effect will last 1 day. After the second session of bioresonance contact therapy, the effect will last 3 days. After the third session, the effect will last up to 10 days. So it's better to do enough amount of sessions in order to prolongate the result to receive this effect of summation. For different conditions, there are different suggestions about the amount of sessions you do with this device. Life Balance is more simple to use because you just use it if you have some symptoms, or if you want to do some prevention, or if you just want to feel more energy. And until the symptoms are gone, a few more weeks if you were treating some strong disease. In this case, everything is strict and everything is already numbered. So we just need to follow the instructions. Okay, we will go back to our general meridians. And I will explain you when we can use them a part of harmonization. Vertical meridian goes between 12 segments of the body. This therapy is working if we have hypofunction. Hypofunction is when on the diagram of the test, our results, the dominative color is blue. This is a hypofunction, also with dystonia and hypotonic type, dominance of the parasympathetic nervous system. All indicators are blue, as I told before, with depression in the upper parts of the sympathetic nervous system and expression of the lower parts. Organs above the diagram are blue, and organs below the diagram are red. So when you look at the results and the major of the colors are blue, you can use this meridian. And if the organs above the diagram are blue and below the not diagram, diaphragm, sorry, and organs below the diaphragm are red, inflammation. The other one is a circular therapy. Circular therapy goes in a circle of closed electrodes. 6 segments participate in the direction, one direction only. So you connect yourself with the electrodes, feet, hands, and your head, and the frequency goes in a circle from one to another one in one direction. With the help of this therapy, we work with hyperfunction. Also, in the absence of regularities in the change of indicators, the presence of side difference, who doesn't know what is side difference, please watch my first webinar and you will have an idea. In the presence of hyperfunction, and in skin diseases and reactions like itching and rash. I don't know why it doesn't show here the horizontal therapy. It was my fault, probably I didn't introduce it to the presentation. I will add it to this presentation in PDF, and those who want to receive it in PDF, please write me and I will send you a link. So you will be able to watch this webinar recorded, and you will be able to download a PDF of this presentation, and horizontal therapy will also appear. Horizontal therapy goes between horizontally closed pairs of electrodes where 6 segments are involved. We use it if we have acute spasmodic pain. With bronchopulmonary pathology, vertebral and joint pain, with absolute predominance of the sympathetic part of the central nervous systems, and all the indicators of a diagram are red, and also to align the side difference. Also, I will repeat that the side difference is described in details in our previous webinar. Okay, horizontal therapy, vertical therapy, and circular therapy. You will be able to receive it in PDF. You don't have to remember everything, you just need to understand. Very important thing, never apply circular therapy when first and second segments of organs diagram has hyperfunction, yellow, orange, or red color. What it means, we need to open our WebWellness application and this diagram with 47 organs, and the first and the second organ should not have hyperfunction, should not be in yellow, orange, or red color. If the first or the second organ of a diagram of organs is in this color, please do not use circle diagram, only diagonal therapy. Diagonal therapy goes between 12 segments. It is used when it is not necessary to cause aggravation. And in the case of the first and the second segment of a diagram, we do not need this aggravation because I think it was connected to blood circulation or to our heart. We need to check the first and the second organ. The diagonal therapy is used when there is both hyper and hyperfunction. Basically, diagonal therapy is used if you have doubts about some other meridians. You can use diagonal therapy because this is the most gentle harmonizing mode. You can use it if you have pain syndromes in the heart, hypertension syndrome, and dystonic indicators. That's why these are basically symptoms if our first and second segments are not in the normal condition, but in hyperfunction. Okay, let's see about how to do a therapy if our health problem is inflammation, if it's an acute process. Here you can see how we should work. We should work with 1 or 2 general meridians. Choose from those 4 I gave you, depending on your health conditions. 8 4 meridians or 4 classical meridians. Unfortunately, at the moment, our application, our software has a restriction. We can only use maximum like 5 meridians at a time and during maximum 20 minutes. However, this will be prolonged in future. We are sure because we are comfort about it, so you will not have these restrictions in future. In this presentation, I will tell you how it should be in a perfect condition, but even with this restriction, I will give you the ways to do it so that this presentation will be useful not only now when we have this restriction, but if this restriction will be eliminated. So the therapy in some acute process, which is inflammation, can be done in 3 ways. We need to know what should be done if we have inflammation, as this poor guy on the photo. If we have an inflammation, what we do is to get rid of it as fast as we can. So we can act in 3 different ways with our bioresonance contact therapy. Passive bioresonance therapy, as also we call it, by meridians. We can connect to the electrodes, turn on the application, choose meridians, and act uninterruptedly until the clinical symptoms disappear, so we can turn on the program and use it from 1 hour up to 3 hours. We can use it short but frequent, like 5 or 6 times a day. Session time is 21 minutes. Right now, we can use it for 19 minutes because we have this restriction of 20 minutes. So the number should be odd, the number of sessions and the number of minutes. And in this case, we should use 19 minutes. It will be enough. Short, frequent, 5 or 6 times a day during 19 minutes. And the third one is short but frequent during 21 minutes. In this case, for now, we use 19 minutes, but when the restriction will be taken off, you should use it as it says on this picture for 21 minutes, for now 19 minutes. Rest 7 minutes and you repeat again. So basically you do it short, you have a small rest, you can repeat it 3 times in a row, 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row until you feel better, because the results are really incredible if you start using it. And also it's important that between all the sessions we need to drink a glass of water. I hope everything is clear. So in this case, since we can't use so many different meridians, we can use during 19 minutes we can use 1 full meridian, 1 general meridian, and 3 classical Chinese meridians during 19 minutes, choosing one of these 3 strategies to act on the acute problem. Then, how to work with our chronic processes. The therapy will be totally different. In this case, we need to pay attention also what type of vegetative nervous system the person has. As I showed you in the video, you need to go to general conditions of systems and you need to find a type of nervous system of the person. In this case, we use 4 classical meridians, 1 full meridian and 1 general. Or we can do, as I told you before, 1 full, 1 general and 3 classical at the moment until we have the restriction. If a type of a nervous system of the person is eutonia, we can have 3 different types. If it's eutonia, the session duration should be 25, 21 or 31 minutes. You can use it during 19 minutes, and then with the same meridians, you just make the time shorter, and you can do 6 minutes more until we reach 25. In total, it will be an odd number, 19 minutes plus 6 minutes more of the same therapy, but make it shorter, and we will have 25 minutes. The same about 31. You can arrange it using our maximum 20 minutes to the duration you need. So, how often you need to do it? 1 time per day or every other day? The amount of sessions, 11 sessions. It's very important. We can start and then decide, oh, it's not serious, I don't want to continue, I want to stop, and you decide to stop on your third or fourth or fifth session, I will tell you why you need to do the exact amount of session which is written here. Because this procedure has different stages. The first and the second session you do, so the 2 days you do the session, is a starter session. So you just start, you prepare your body. The third and the fourth session is the session of aggravation. So the symptoms which were dreaming inside of you in this chronic disease, some of them may wake up and irritate you a little bit. So we can stop on this way. We woke them up and we can just, as imagine you have some people in your house which you didn't invite and they are sleeping and you can wake them up. And there is no way you make them leave your house. Let's imagine our body is our house and the chronic disease is prolonged and it's like sleeping inside of us until it wakes up. With our therapy, we can wake it up, and this is good. You don't have to be scared because you won't have very serious symptoms, I'm sure. So you wake them up, and you make them leave your house, leave your body. Fifth and sixth session, leave in aggravation period, so you will feel better. 7, 8 session, you will feel a therapeutic effect. 9, 11, fixation of the results. As you can see, it's totally different from the strategy for acute inflammation processes. In inflammation processes, you can get rid of it just so fast in a few hours or during one day. In this case, it's a chronic process. We need to work a little bit more. In this case, 11 days. Okay, the first time, eutonia. The second type of nervous system, increasing the tone of the parasympathetic nervous system. Session duration should be 31, 35, or 41 minutes. You should remember that our maximum duration at the moment is 20 minutes, so you can make it last as it says here, turning on 19 minutes and then minusing the amount which lasts to do 31, 35, or 41. So in this case, it's very important. These people feel aggravation, the inflammation of their chronic disease, let's say, at the fifth session, only at the fifth, when normal people with eutonia, they were already leaving aggravation period. So in this case, for parasympathetic people, it's everything a little bit longer. So for them, we need to do 15 sessions. And if they can't do 15 sessions, we don't even try this therapy with these people, because we need to be responsible. We talk about our health. So if it says 15 sessions to enter, to start, and to finish, to fix the results, so we need to do 15 sessions, not less. We can do it every day or every other day. The third type of nervous system is increase in the tone of sympathetic nervous system. It's all simple. Session duration up to 19 minutes, course of 11 sessions, every day or every other day. I want to remind you that we have odd number of sessions and odd number of minutes in the, because this is a law of interreference. We have 31 minutes, 21, 19 sessions amount, 11 sessions, 15, everything should be odd. Okay, let's talk about other general rules of the bioresonance contact therapy. We need to do the therapy no more than 3 minutes on the tight organs. So we have 2 types of organs. It's very difficult for me to explain since I'm not a doctor, but I will try to explain it so easy that even I could understand it. So tight organ, we have the organs which are like blood channels, or like lungs, which have their surface, but inside they're empty. And we have the organs which are full inside, like our heart, liver, kidneys. Our stomach, for example, might also be a tight organ. So you can read about it on internet, but we can work on no more than 3 minutes on tight organs because we have meridians of different organs. So no more than 3 minutes on tight organs. If you have any questions about it, then you can look on internet. 1 second just to tell you everything correctly. Yes, so we have parenchymatosnal organs, which are like liver, heart, which are full inside. And we have the tight organs, which are like tubes, you know, like stomach, like lungs. They are tight. So we do not need to work more than 3 minutes with tight organs. Do not take to work at all liver, heart, and kidneys. We shouldn't work with these meridians. Take their pair organ. Every organ has a pair. A pair of heart, small intestine. A pair of liver, gallbladder. Kidney pair, bladder. So if you want to treat some heart problems, put small intestine meridian. Maybe it sounds crazy, but this is how it is. We need, in this case, not to work with a sick organ, as the third rule says. We need to work with its pair. As I showed you on the using star, our organism is very connected, and every organ has its pair. In this case, working with its pair, we will make a result on the heart, liver, or kidneys. It's very simple, as for example, you can do a massage of your foot, or somebody can do your professional massage of the foot, and meanwhile you can feel pain in some other part of your body because everything is connected. If you want to use, if you really need to use heart, liver, or kidneys, please use them starting from the 5th session of the meridian therapy, only for 1 minute, no more. Also, as I showed you in the video, we have automatic compilation of bioresonance therapy. And if you start, if you want to try it automatic, you don't want to use these rules from the webinar. If on the first session, heart, liver, or kidneys will appear, please put the time of a therapy 0.5 minutes, as it shows on the video. Okay, these are basic rules. Basically, our webinar will be finishing very soon. Now you say, but how can I choose which meridians to put? I just explained you a little bit about our general meridians and about how to work with acute, and chronic diseases. But don't worry, here in presentation you will find everything. Here is lymphatic meridian, which pair meridian is kidneys. Here you can find the pathologies we can use it for. I will not stop my attention because I can break my tongue pronouncing all these diseases, but you will be able to watch this, to put it on the pause and to read more when I do a recording, or you can just ask me for a PDF of this presentation. Lungs, pair meridian, colon, indications to use. You can see all the indications. And by these indications, prepare for yourself a bioresonance therapy. If you will use these indications, you will do everything correctly. Many diseases can be treated with bioresonance passive therapy, contact therapy. Its power is that it's strong enough because you basically touch the electrodes which produce the frequency. So you will receive it the fastest way possible. It's a contact therapy. Here you can see which problems we can treat with the therapy. Allergy meridian, it's paired meridian, bladder as well. We have 24 different meridians, so it's a huge list basically. Here you can find 20, the classical, Chinese, and the fall meridians. This is a very interesting therapy. This is a very interesting technology. If you have more questions after the webinar, you can also search online. I'm sure you'll find a lot of information, which I just couldn't tell in the webinar because we don't have so much time. But this therapy is very complete. It doesn't have the same frequencies as Life Balance do, as I already told you. It's a totally different method, but the same bioresonance. This is frequency. Our own frequency, healthy frequency, filtered, and our orchestra will start working correct, playing the music of our life. Okay, I hope that this presentation was useful for you and that you happy use our WebWellness technology. Many devices will appear, I'm sure. We will prolongate our technology, bioresonance technology. We will make it more modern as science develops. Our devices right now are so small. This is the smallest size possible, I think, right now to be able to represent this technology. And our unique web wellness application with a database is very good. So those of you who have Life Expert Profi can also take advantage and try to do bioresonance therapy by meridians and then to see how changes your test results. Maybe you will be impressed. Using this therapy, we can also take off the green blocks. If somebody is very ill, he does a test and you see everything is green. Green, green, green. You just understand that he can be so healthy. All his organs and system just can be green because he's obviously not healthy. Bioresonance contact therapy by meridians can also help you to unblock this person's results. I hope this webinar was interesting for you. Have a good evening. This was Karina Wyszymirska, a partner of Business Process Technologies company. If you have any questions, please contact me. I will send you this presentation on PDF, or you will be able to find it very soon. I will post it tomorrow probably on my website in the blog section. This way you can try to find it yourself, yourlifeexpert.com. I put it in the comments. In the blog section, you will find the webinar and this presentation. Thank you for your attention. Have a good day.